Senator Roberts.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for being here again. I want to follow up on something that we discussed last time. So you may recall at last estimates we had a conversation about your power bills.
Yes.
A lot of people are talking about power bills these days.
They are.
This is estimates, and for the purpose of estimates, one of the purposes is to assess how you are spending taxpayers' money. So that's what I want to revisit. First of all, thanks for your detailed response. When you took my question on notice, that was SQ 23-003317. I hope all of the public service takes notes from you about how questions on notice should be answered. So
Thank you.
we appreciate it. In that answer, you said that you elect to add the green power product to your power bills. That's totally optional. You opt in, and you take extra money from the taxpayers to pay that expense. That's making your power bills 6.8%, say 7% more expensive than otherwise. Whether you opt in to pay the extra for green power, the extra 7% or not, the same power comes through the same plug, probably from a coal-fired power station. But you're choosing to waste taxpayers' money on this optional expense which makes no difference to what's turning the lights on. How much did you pay for green power over the last year?
I will have to take that on notice unless my colleague has the answer. So we'll try and come back to you with an equally exemplary response.
Good, thank you. Do you have any, I don't expect this of you, so do you have any guess as to what your power bill is?
I wouldn't like to guess. No.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And could you also tell me how much you expect to pay this coming year?
I can't tell you that, but I will certainly
take it on notice.
We'll certainly get that information for you.
Thank you. You're established under legislation, correct?
We are.
So I assume you've been established with the objective of funding the arts?
We have, yes.
Yes.
Investment and advocacy.
Investing in arts and advocacy on behalf of the arts. Thank you, that's clarifying. What part of your objectives enable you to waste an extra 7% on a core component power a year on your power bills when it's literally the same power coming through the plug whether you pay the extra expense or not?
What part of our objectives? I think the Australia Council, Creative Australia to Be, does have sustainability goals, and we try to exemplify those which are important to the sector that we serve as well. Given that we invest in the sector, we advocate for the sector, I think this is generally respected by the arts and creative industry.
Well, I think you're wasting taxpayer money and that should be cancelled. Wouldn't that money be better spent on the art that you're supposed to be funding?
Well, there's always a cost to investing and servicing the art we are funding, and I think you will find this is significantly respected by the sector.
The point is you're spending an extra 7% on a key component of your bill.
I understand that.
Same plug, same power.
I understand that, but there are different kinds of value as well.
I'm not arguing with you on that point, Mr. Collett.
So this would be a small contribution to social and environmental value that is respected by the sector, and I'm sure if you ask their general view on should we save whatever the sum is, 7% of our power bill, and I confess I don't know our power bill as I sit here, you would find very broad support for what we do.
Well, I think there's a lot of ignorance, and I'm not singling you out, I think it goes right through the community, ignorance about this green power, because the same power comes from the same place through the plug, regardless of whether you pay that 7% or not. So I'd like to know what benefit you get from 7%.
Well, I'd take that on notice and come back to you once I understand the argument that I think you're making, that there's actually no difference in this power. So I need to satisfy myself on that argument, and then we can come back to you with a response.
Agreed. Pleased to hear that. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Ross, do you have